Good morning, students. Today we will be dealing with our new poem, that is The Lake Isle of Innisfree. This poem is written by William Butler Yeats. He is also called as W.B. Yeats. Now, this William Butler Yeats was one of the greatest English language poets of the 20th century. He had received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. He was born in Ireland in 1865. William Butler Yeats published his first work in the midst of 1880 when he was a student. His early accomplishment includes The Wandering of Oisin and other poems. So this was the first accomplishment, means it was his first poem, The Wandering of Oisin and other poems. Okay. He had written plays like Countess Kathleen and Deirdre. In 1923, he was awarded with the Nobel Prize for Literature. So this is the introduction about the poet. Now let us have a look what exactly this poem is dealing with. What exactly W.B. Yeats wants. The Lake Isle of Innisfree, written by W.B. Yeats in 1888. So this poem was written in 1888. Okay. Then it is a 12-line poem composed of 3 quatrains. It reveals the poet's nostalgia. Now, this poem these lines are revealing William Butler Yeats' nostalgia. Nostalgia means what? Nostalgic situation or nostalgia means what? A sentiment of longingness. Now what is longingness? Longing means a yearning desire, a deep desire, okay? Or a feeling of wanting something, a feeling to have something, a feeling to need something like. So this poem is written in the, it reveals, means it is explaining the nostalgic state of, means the longing state of the poet W.B. Yeats. Okay. For the piece, now for what purpose he is nostalgic? Why he is nostalgic? Why he wants what he want? Actually, he want peace and tranquility, calmness, quietness in his life. So he want peace. He enjoyed on the Lake Isle. So he enjoyed on this Lake Isle. Isle is the name of the lake. So he enjoyed on the Lake Isle during his childhood. This desire to lead a simple life on the quiet island also present the poet's dislike for humdrum of life in cities and towns. Humdrum means what? The busyness or the rigidness or the busy schedule of life in the city. So he is fed up of all these things and he want to be free. He want to set himself free. He want peace and tranquility and he want to be calm and quiet. And for that purpose, he is longing to go to the Lake Isle of Innisfree. Innisfree is a place, Isle is name of the lake. And this poem is reflecting or telling us all about the nostalgic state, nostalgia of the poet William Butler Yeats. As I said you, nostalgia means what? I will repeat it again because this word is new for you. Nostalgia means a sentimental longingness. Nostalgia means what? A sentimental longingness. And longingness means what? A yearning desire, a deep desire or a feeling of wanting something. Okay, so this is the meaning. Now, this poem also discuss what exactly it discuss again is this poet W.B. Yeats longs to live in a peaceful and beautiful place. Why he wants to live in a peaceful and beautiful place? Do you feel sometime that you also want to go or you also want to be at a place where you could find peace and the beauty of nature? Yes, everyone want, some other time everyone wants this, right? Why we want this? Because we want change in our life. We are bound to certain rules, certain things in our day-to-day life. And some other day we all are fed up. We all need a peace of mind, tranquility, to have calmness and quietness, right? So here the same W.B. Yeats also want the same thing. He is also fed up of his life. Fed up in the sense he is tired of the busy schedule, whatever he is living in the village, sorry, whatever he is living in the town or the city. So he wants change in his life. So in his imagination comes the name of Innisfree, where he spent a lot of time as a boy. So when W.B. Yeats is imagining that where I should go, where I will find peace and tranquility, where I will find calmness, where I will find silence, where I will have an enjoyment with silence, enjoyment not in that way, but in some other way. So when he is thinking of all these things, so suddenly the name of this place, Lake Isle of Innisfree, has popped in his mind. So where he had spent his yes, lot of time as a boy, means when he was a child. Okay, he knows that a place of natural beauty and peace like Innisfree makes the human soul light, and he is very confident about the place where he had already spent his boyhood or childhood, that this natural beauty, or the place of natural beauty and peace of Innisfree will definitely make human soul light. Okay, light means not that light what you are thinking. Light means the opposite of heavy. Okay, and why he is so much heavy? He is tensed, he is worried, he is fed up of all the busy schedule, whatever he is spending throughout the day in the city. So he knows that a place of natural beauty and peace like Innisfree will make human soul light. Definitely the one who will go to this place, this Lake Isle, this place Innisfree, will definitely feel light. One enjoys life fully in the lap of nature, and one will definitely enjoy the life in the lap of nature. Yes, it's true. It's really very true that whenever we are in the lap of nature, we definitely enjoy there. I guess many of you had enjoyed this thing. So now let us have a loud reading of this poem. What exactly the poet has written here, and how exactly he has conveyed his feeling through lines, his longingness through these lines. Okay, now I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the beloved glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the wheels of the morning to where the cricket sings. Their midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sound by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. Definitely, you must have not understood anything, but if you read the poem twice, you will understand at least something. Now, what you all have to do is, for this poem, now you have to read this poem once again, and you have to underline the words, like you have to write down the meaning of the words. I'm telling you which meanings you have to write. Wattles, WATTLES, you have to write down the meaning of wattles. Bean rows means what? That you have to write down. Okay, then You know the meaning of hive, but then also once you have to go through the meaning. Hive. Okay. Then be loud. This be loud glade. You have to write the meaning of this be loud. Okay. These are two different words. Be loud is one and glade is one. So you have to write down the meaning of for these two words as well. Then come to the second stanza. In second stanza, write down the meaning of wheels. V-E-I-L-S. Write down the meaning of wheels. Then write down the meaning of cricket. So cricket is not the cricket which you play or watch on television. Okay. Cricket. Then gleamer. Go to the word gleamer and write down the meaning for this word gleamer. And then purple glow. What is the meaning of purple glow? That also you have to write down. Then linnets. The meaning of linnets. Then come to the third stanza. Here it is. In the third stanza, you write down the word, meaning of the word lapping. L-A-P-P-I-N-G, lapping. Then you have to write down the meaning of shore. Then you have to write down the meaning of pavements and core. So these are the words which you have to write down the meaning of all these words. Now, when you will be writing the synonyms of these words, after writing the synonyms, you have to use that synonyms in your sentences. You have not to use these words in your sentences. So in all, how many words I had given you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 words. So I need 13 different sentences to be constructed, that too grammatically correct, of the synonyms of these words. Okay. And try to write down the sentences which you will be able to use in your day-to-day communication, which will be helpful for you. Okay. So this is all about this poem. Is once again in short I will tell you. This poem is all written. I am going to explain you stanza wise, line by line. Don't worry about it. In next video we will be discussing the complete poem word to word. But by that time you have to find out the meaning of this word, so that when we will be discussing, it will be more easy for you to understand it. So let us revise this, what exactly this poem is all about. W.B. Yeats has written this poem in nostalgic state. Nostalgic state means what? A sentimental longingness, as I said you before. And longingness means what? A yearning desire, a deep desire of wanting something. A feeling of wanting something. Okay, so this is and it talks about where nature is beautiful, alive and full of life. This complete poem is discussing about the nature, where nature is completely beautiful, alive means where it is having liveliness and full of life. And W.B. Yeats is yearning, his yearning desire is to go to that place and spend some time where he had already spent some time in his childhood. Okay, so this is all about the poem. This is the introductory part of the poem. I had introduced you with the biography of W.B. Yeats, and in short I had introduced you with the poem, what exactly it is all about. So in next video we will be dealing with the complete explanation of the poem, and you have to send me the assignments at once when finally this topic will be completed. Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice day.